welcome back to my channel. So the first thing I would like to start off by saying is that I have made some plans for my channel that I just want to share with you, partly just to let you know, but also because I feel like if I voice them, then it will make them all the more likely to happen. So the plan is that I'm going to be uploading 3 videos a week. One of them will be a minimalism video. The other I have temporarily labeled ethical/other. So it could be like a veganism video or a video about fast fashion, or it could be, you know, whatever happens to spark my interest that day. And the other will be a weekly vlog. So a kind of summary of the places I've been, the things I've seen, that kind of thing. We'll see how that goes, because I love taking on too much. And I fear I've done that, but only time will tell. I also think that I need to I need to set myself some goals and I just need something to aim for. I also have some very exciting news in that I am currently dog sitting a lovely, lovely dog called Bailey, who is just nipped out for a wee. So I imagine at some point during this video, Bailey will be coming into the room and you can meet her, which is very, very exciting. She is the nicest. She got here at 9 AM this morning, and what time is it now? It's 20 to 1 now. I feel like she doesn't really know what's going on, and I feel bad and I want to make her feel at home, but you can only explain so much to a doggy, so we'll see. And Bibs, she's being so brave. The cats aren't very, very sure about there being a dog in the house. I shall go get the door. This is Bailey. Bailey is a cocker spaniel, isn't she? A cocker spaniel. And she is a very good girl. She is a very good girl.
And very naughty.
Also very, very naughty. Does that as well. Oh, little beautiful doggy, it's you. It's Bailey Boo. So that's Bailey. We like Bailey, right? Anyway, today I wanted to talk about the relationship between happiness and discomfort. I feel like I was led to believe that happiness came from avoiding discomfort and avoiding pain and just generally avoiding negative emotions. Like if you can avoid being sad ever, then that means you're happy. That kind of way of thinking. And recently, and in a lot of ways thanks to minimalism, I've kind of realized that that's not really true. It's not the case at all. So I just want to define my terms first. So when I'm talking about discomfort, I'm talking about it from an internal sense. Okay, fine. Maybe overcoming fear, or, you know, having to work through feelings of wanting to procrastinate, or working through a pain, that kind of feeling. I do not mean somebody causing you harm or you being unsafe in any way. That is not what I'm talking about when I talk about pain and discomfort in this video. That's not what I mean. I mean everything in terms of like personal development. And when I talk about happiness in this, I generally categorize happiness into sort of two forms, 2 types of happiness. The first is kind of an instant gratification type, so cause and effect. I ate this cake and therefore I feel happy. It's very short term, it's very fleeting. That's sort of type 1 happiness. And the second type of happiness is this idea of it being quite a sustained, long-term ability to, or like being equipped to deal with day-to-day life and the world and being happy regardless of what happens rather than because of what happens. So that one I feel is a lot more valuable, the second type. So when I talk about happiness, I'm talking about that sustained happiness, and when I'm talking about discomfort, I mean it in the sort of internal sense and nothing to do with being unsafe or someone causing you harm. In fact, when I talk about this sort of 2 types of happiness dealio, that was one of the things that minimalism really taught me, because I think I was all about instant gratification before. So eating the cake, avoiding the gym, buying the dress, buying the shoes, you know, just this idea of I have done this and therefore I'm going to feel good because of it. That's just type 1 happiness. Type 2 happiness, which is this more prolonged term, that was long term and prolonged together. So the idea would be, you know, yes, I could eat the cake for type 1 happiness, or I could not eat it and maybe be healthy in the long term for type 2. Not that one cake can make you unhealthy, but you know what I mean. And same as, yes, not going to the gym is going to make me feel probably quite comfortable and relaxed in the short term, but I'm going to be fitter in the long term. And obviously, mentioned this many times, but with the whole buying things, yes, I might feel happy that I bought the shoes, but if I didn't buy them, then I would have the money, and that is going to bring me more type 2 happiness, which is the good stuff. That's the one that we want that type 2 happiness. So that's something that minimalism taught me anyway, so yeah, that was a bit of a side note. But I want to talk to you today about discomfort and why it is something that should be credited and valued rather than something that should be avoided. So when I started going to the gym a few years ago, I wasn't very good at it because I was new to it and it hurt, and of all of the boundaries that you would think you would have to cross when doing a physical activity, the biggest one was mental. Like, I would just be so in my head about things and thinking like, this doesn't feel good, this is a bad feeling, and I want to try and get away from this feeling, as far away from this feeling as I possibly can. That was my initial reaction. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get away from it and like flee the scene, because I just didn't want to be feeling pain anymore. So as well as being fitter and stronger, I found that developing that understanding of discomfort and long-term gain was one of the biggest things that I got out of working out. And I didn't think that that was going to be, like, I didn't go into the experience thinking that that was going to be something that was possible. The fact that I now understand that long-term happiness and like sustained happiness and discomfort are companions and that they come together, it means that I am so much better equipped to deal with life and to take everything, to almost have some sort of sense of perspective. So rather than it being a case of, oh God, that feels bad, I have to try and get away from this feeling or get away from that situation that's making me feel that feeling, I have the perspective and the sort of, I can judge the situation as a whole and really value that discomfort, because I know that moving through that discomfort is going to get me somewhere that I want to be. Also, something that's a little bit of a theme in my life, and in everyone's life as well, I wouldn't be surprised, is that the darkest times, or the times when I feel the most pain and the saddest, are generally the most transformative times of growth and change, and they are, in terms of getting to where I want to be, they are the best parts of my life. So 3 years ago, I went through like the worst breakup. It was horrible, and I really hurt for a long period of time. But if it wasn't for that, if that hadn't have happened, if I wasn't in that, you know, what felt like a really crappy situation, I would not have gone traveling, and I seriously doubt I'd be minimalist and vegan. So many things I love about myself now, so many things that I feel at the moment I am the most equipped to deal with the world than I have ever been, ever. And I have so much of that to thank that breakup and that year of darkness and badness and feeling crap, because, you know, that feeling that's growth, that's change. It feels horrible, but it's what we need. I mean, to go back to the fitness metaphor, if you want to like build up a muscle, when you work it out, what you're doing is you're essentially destroying that muscle. So you are tearing it apart, you're tearing the fibers of it so it can rebuild stronger. And the same is true of yourself and of your, I don't know, your personality, your perseverance, your ability to deal with things. These are all things that need to kind of be broken down before they're built up stronger. And also, I am not saying at all that we should deliberately like seek out trauma to try and get ourselves stronger, because that would be foolish. But I just want to say that if you are dealing with anything, any sort of feeling of pain, and I'm not even talking about like breakups, or I don't necessarily mean anything that's particularly bad. It could just be a case of you are someone who wants to procrastinate and you really have to fight through that need to procrastinate in order to get that thing done. That is what I mean when I talk about discomfort. Or maybe you want to achieve something but you're too scared. Working through that fear, that is a form of discomfort that I mean. If you value that feeling because you know that that's the bridge that you need to cross to get to where you want to be, try not to think of it as this thing that needs to be avoided, that you need to get away from that feeling, because that is, you know, happiness and discomfort are friends. They work together. You know, one without the other is just short-term fleeting happiness. It's the type 1 happiness I was talking about. We need those two parts to get to where we want to be and to grow and to change. And it doesn't make it hurt any less, but it does give us that idea of perspective and hope, and the idea that we can get to where we want to be, and we owe discomfort that we need it. So I hope this video was of some use to you. I hope you enjoyed meeting Bailey the dog. Bailey the dog? Bailey the dog is busy. And yeah, I'll be seeing you a lot more regularly, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to follow me on my Instagram and also check out my blog, and I will see you in my next video. I hope you are all doing very well, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Granted, your position heartfelt, social condition not bad, but I have it any other way. Day and night, it's not the same as being wrong, right? There is surely grace, but sometimes Sunday